It's 2 o'clock. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined us today for this pre-match press conference with Tabraiz Shamsi. As usual, I'd like to ask everyone to please ensure that your monitors are muted and to also put your request to ask a question on the chat panel. We'll start with one question per person, please, and then we'll circle back again. Is there anyone who'd like to kick us off today? Maybe Shama will give us a magic trick to start us off. Thanks, Fidos. You can go first.
Well, now I was waiting for the magic trick. Hey, Shama, we've been speaking a lot to the associate guys, and obviously for them, it's really about proving themselves and showing that they're up for the fight. Can we get it from your perspective? What's it like to play against, you guys have just had Ireland, and they're not an associate, obviously, but so-called smaller teams, and to know that, they wish that they were playing as much as you guys were, and they wish that they had, some of the opportunities you guys have got, but at the same, such a struggle for them. What does that feel like, and how do you feel about their status?
Hey, Fidos. Hello, everyone. I don't think much changes, to be honest, whether we're playing against India or England or Netherlands, because for us, especially the way I see it, every game that we play is an international game. So I don't think, it's any different for us, because every game you're playing, it's an opportunity for you to establish yourself, and try and put in performances, and it's another international game. So for me personally, and I think for the team as well, the chats that we've had, we don't really look to change anything, whether we're playing against an associate team or one of the bigger teams. So yeah, I think it's another game of international cricket, another opportunity to try and win a game for your country, I suppose.
Janice up next, followed by Ken.
Hi, Shamo. With so many of the regular fast bowlers out, and also Lungi and Lazard also now out, do you see this as an opportunity to sort of take more responsibility or a bigger sort of role within the bowling lineup, or will you just, as always, focus on what you have to do when you have the ball in hand?
Hey, Dennis. No, I don't think my role will change, because even when those guys are here, we have specific roles. I have a certain role to play, not just with the ball, but things behind the scenes as well. And I think it's a great opportunity for the other guys. I was just sitting back and thinking, for me personally, it took me about 2.5 years to get 2 games in a row, where now we sit, potentially some of the guys could be getting 3 games for their country in 6 days. So I think nothing changes for me. There's nothing that I need to do different. I just have to do, whenever I get the ball, try and do what I try and do every time. And that's whether at that stage wickets are needed, I must try and take wickets, or if I've got to bowl a cheap spell, then that's what I have to do. I don't necessarily think anything's going to change.
Ken?
Thanks, Bakazi. How's it, Shama?
Okay.
You mentioned the importance of both personally and the team putting in a performance, even though you're playing against the Netherlands. The Proteas have obviously had a really good year in terms of T20 cricket and won the Test series in the West Indies, but ODI cricket has been a bit of an issue. I think a lot of people are kind of perplexed as to how a team that's doing so well in T20 cricket has really struggled in ODIs lately. Presumably you guys have had discussions about the ODI side of things, and can you put your finger on why the ODI form just seems to be lagging behind?
To be honest, I don't think we've played much ODI cricket. I speak about this new Proteas team, the one that we've been building in the past year. Obviously, there was a lot of focus on T20 cricket. We played a lot of T20 games. ODIs, if I can remember correctly, we just played a few against Ireland and then a few against Sri Lanka. So subcontinent, you know how it is. It's always a tough challenge, whether it was this team or the years of the past. So, as we went along with the T20s, we saw in the World Cup, it's a process that we are building towards. And I feel we did relatively well in that T20 format. I think the one days is going to be the same. We've only probably played 6 games, and now moving forward, it's a new squad as well. But this all adds to it. That's all part of the plan, to have more guys involved with the Proteas, so we have a bigger base to build from. So from my perspective, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Obviously we're going to have more one-day games, so it's going to be just the same process as we followed for the T20 World Cup. Just playing more games together and fine-tuning the game plans that we need to.
Stuart?
Afternoon, Tabraiz. I guess I hope this is not too similar to what Firoz asked, but what are you anticipating from this Netherlands team, given that they've also got such a strong South African flavor to them?
That's true. Yeah, I also feel I didn't answer Firoz's question fully. From a Netherlands perspective, obviously, like you mentioned, they have a few guys that are South Africans. I'm sure they're going to have a point to prove, and also with the Super League being scrapped, this is probably their last opportunity to make a statement, so to speak. But for us as well, we also need the points for World Cup qualification. So I think it's going to be a good challenge. They're obviously going to be up for the fight, and so will we. We have so many new guys in the squad. And I feel that's a lovely opportunity for all of us, to put in performances, to put our hands up. As we've seen, there's all World Cups every year, basically now, in tournaments. So as players and even as the opposition, you always want to try and win. And I'm sure they're going to come out, fighting as well. But for us, simple thing, I'm sure you guys have heard this many times. We've just been prepping as hard as we can, definitely not taking these guys easy because they have quality players. They've got a lot of guys that have been playing county cricket as well. So yeah, from a personnel point of view, we're definitely not slacking off, just looking at the opposition because they've got some quality players in their squad.
And then Kim?
Shamo, you mentioned the World Cup Super League and there being a World Cup every year. Just your opinion, if you will, what would you say is the best way to run qualifications for major tournaments? Considering that you guys are now in a state where if you don't win a number of ODIs, whatever, things could go wrong. How should teams be qualifying? And are there other examples we can look at from other sport, or is there something you have in mind?
For me, any way that we qualify for the World Cup would be the best possible solution. But yeah, obviously there's different things all the time. There's the Super League now that won't be here next time. And then I believe the normal situation is where the top 10 teams qualify and then the associates have to go through qualification and stuff. So, to be honest, I haven't really thought about it much, but I just feel like with the amount of cricket that's being played, being forced to squeeze in extra cricket might not be the best solution. And perhaps maybe that's the reason why, that Super League's been scrapped. I'm not an expert, but I think that's the thing that I would think of right now is, qualifiers as it was in the past. But it definitely does add an extra element, like we saw every single series, including this one, has consequences. So for me personally, I like this format because you can't take it easy against any team. Whereas previously, you'd find teams that would field drastically under strength squads against the associate teams or the lesser known teams. Whereas now there's a consequence. So I personally like this format.
Ken?
Shamo, you obviously a key performer with the ball for the Proteas, but you mentioned that you also have important behind the scenes roles. What are some of those roles as well?
No, I'm obviously somebody that's quite cheerful and always trying to make everyone happy in the camp. That's one of my roles. Also, just behind the scenes to make sure that everyone's okay, everyone. Whoever joins the team and the guys that are in there, I'm somebody that likes to make sure everyone's positive. And also in terms of the bowling unit, there's responsibilities. Having been in the team for a number of years, those things come as you spend more and more time in the team. So I think those are some of my responsibilities, and I enjoy doing that.
Is there anyone who'd like to take the last 2 questions? Going once. Thanks, Ken. You can take the last one.
Tabraiz SuperSport Park, obviously your home ground. I guess it's sort of mixed fortunes for spinners there. How do you see the general sort of pitch there for spin bowling, size of outfield, that sort of thing?
Yeah, for me, it's been weird, you know, obviously when I moved to the Titans, and also the chat that you hear around the circuit is that, you know, the Wanderers and SuperSport Park aren't really spin friendly. But I've basically made my career playing at SuperSport Park. You know, I started getting my opportunities once I started playing for the Titans. So for me personally, I don't really see the stigma behind it, you know, that it's not as favorable for spin bowlers and stuff. Yes, the ball flies, there are smaller boundaries. You might not get as much assistance as a spin bowler, but for me, I don't really, you know, I think that's what we've developed over the years, you know, to try and take the equation out of the pitch out of the equation, and have different game plans, you know, whether the pitch turns, there's a certain way you want to bowl. If it doesn't turn, there's a different way, you know, to bowl. So for me, I'm not really reading into it. It does help, you know, playing at stadiums where you've done well in the past. So yeah, from a psychological point of view, that will be nice. But then again, like we mentioned, you know, there's some guys in the Netherlands team that are also locals. So I'm sure they'll be feeling confident as well. And they also have some sort of local knowledge.
Thank you so much, everyone. If that's it, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll chat to you guys tomorrow at the post-match press conference. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, everyone.
Guys, good luck.
Cheers, guys.